This is the plaintiff, Donald Glassman. He says he hired the defendant, a process server, to serve legal papers on someone he was suing, and the guy failed. He waited and waited for the defendant to complete the job, and since he never did, he feels he should get his money back. The defendant feels otherwise, and so now it's up to the judge to decide. He's suing for $200, the amount he paid the guy. This is the defendant, Isaac Daniel. He says the plaintiff's an impatient pest who constantly harassed him about the job. He made numerous attempts to serve the legal papers and would have made more attempts with ultimate success if the plaintiff had just given him a chance. The plaintiff decided to hire someone else for the job, and that's fine. But he expended energy, money, and manpower and isn't giving him back a dime. He's accused of being a failure.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff hired the defendant, who was a process server, to serve legal papers. Says the guy never did it. The defendant is saying the plaintiff was simply psycho. It is the case of you didn't serve me well.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Donald Glassman.
Yes.
You are suing Personal Touch Services owned by Isaac Daniel. You're the owner for $200, $190. That you paid him to process serve, and you say he didn't, and $10 for mailing money orders to him.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Well, one money order actually.
All right. What happened?
Well, it all started November 30th of last year. I filed a lawsuit in New York County Court against a couple of guys who cheated me out of a large sum of money, and the corporation that they represent.
They cheated you out of a large sum of money, just to get the general gist, in what, in a business deal?
It was a promissory note.
Okay.
They defaulted on...
A pure loan?
Yes.
And they defaulted on it, so
Yes.
you wanted to have them served?
Yes, exactly.
All right. And how much money were we talking about?
What do you mean, the original lawsuit?
Yeah.
$5,500.
Okay. All right. So you wanted how many people served?
Just two individuals.
So you paid him a total of $190 to achieve that?
Yes, the price.
And you
that he
gave him that
quoted
money
me.
on what day?
I mailed the money order and a letter with all the information that he needed on December 3rd, 2010.
And all the information that he needed would consist of what?
I have a copy of the letter.
Sure, let me see it.
It's the names of the persons and their mailing addresses, whatever I knew about them to help the gentleman to locate and serve them.
Okay. All right. And then what happened?
Well, I waited a couple of weeks, and then I called him up, and he said, "Oh, I'm busy. I can't talk to you. I'll call you back later." Didn't call me back later, so I called him the next day, and this time I was able to get him on the phone. And I said, "Did you receive the papers? Did you receive the money order? Have you begun to work?" And he said, "Look, I think I got your paperwork, but you don't want to bother me. You're a nuisance, and it's guys like you who don't get served. I deal with Fortune 500 corporations, and you're at the back of the line. So just be patient and don't worry. The job is going to get done. You have to give me, I don't know how long it's going to take, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. You have 120 days before this has to be served on the other parties. So
you don't want 120 days.
Right. I want
to move things along. So
Right.
Does he ever serve them?
No. He never delivered any affidavit to me. So at that point, around the 20th of December, just to be on the safe side, I hired this other gentleman's firm. I paid him a total of $120, and he did get the job done.
To your knowledge, did he do anything to attempt to serve these folks?
He told me that he had called up one of them and asked him if he wanted to be served, if you let him in the door.
That sort of defeats the purpose, right?
And the guy said, "Oh, no,
yeah,
no, no.
I'd love to be served.
No.
Come on over. I'll have some tea and crumpets ready for you." What's going on here? Kind of process server calls and gives a heads up?
Well, first of all, Your Honor, Mr. Glassman's take on a lot of things, I'm not quite sure where he's getting it from. In reference to me telling him that I serve for Fortune 500 companies, that never happened. Mr. Glassman did call me. He did state that he had some papers that he wanted to serve, and I told him, fine, sure. I get these calls every day.
I know they put bread on your table, right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's not
basically.
like you were doing him a favor.
No, not at all.
So why did it? According to is he lying when he says that a month passed and you guys didn't do anything?
No. Yeah, well, yeah, because we did do things.
Okay, so what did you do?
Can the process server wait until the last minute?
Yeah, because, well, no, not to the last minute, but he doesn't have to do it right away. He may have to.
Reasonable time.
Reasonable.
How quickly if it's 120 days till the court case?
I would say within at least a week.
Okay, fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
As soon as we got the papers within a couple of days, we made our first attempt on the 9th of December.
Okay.
There was no answer. We tried again on the second defendant, and there was no answer as well. On the 11th.
So what was your plan?
Well, depending on the circumstances, sometimes we'll wait or sometimes we'll come back. This wasn't a rush thing. He didn't hire us to serve a rush paper. He didn't hire us
No, rush is like 24 hours, 48 hours. But, there's rush and then there's, I expect you to serve in a month. I mean,
yeah, of course.
What's this 120-day thing? That's before his complaint gets dismissed.
I don't know what he's talking
That's
about
not,
pertaining to the 20-day thing.
Well, he says that you said, I've got 120 days. Is that true or not true that you said that?
I might have mentioned to him he did have 120 days.
He has 120 days before his lawsuit gets dismissed.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to play that game. They want you to serve now.
No, but I did not mention to him that, it was going to take us 120 days.
Okay.
He was calling us constantly, 2 or 3 times. And true.
2 or 3 times a day?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, I had to tell him, like, listen, I'll as soon as we get something, I'll get back to you and I'll let you know what the status is. And that's pretty much what happened.
So what did you do? Tell me how you earned your pay.
Basically, we made another attempt on December 11th.
Okay.
Once again, not able to get any entry. We came back again December 22nd at 8:34 p.m. Then we tried him again at December 29th. Got to the building, rang the intercom, spoke to him, told him I had a delivery. He stated that, of course, it's around the holidays, he was not in town. He told me to give him a call a couple of days later, and he'll make arrangements.
Did you tell me you were a process server trying to serve him with process?
Initially I told him I just had a delivery for him.
Okay, and then initially you told him implies that later you told him something different.
Well, later when I did speak to him again, I believe it might have been the first work week of the new year. I told him, I have legal documents, and he said, sure, no problem. I do have an attorney that's more than willing to accept service. I said, well, to my understanding, I was asked to serve you personally. I said I would have to talk to my clients to see what he has to say about that. I'll get back to you.
Don't you have the right to post after 3 attempts?
Yeah, but he wanted them personally served. He did not want me to post.
Did you ever tell him that that posting was, although good enough for the courts, was not good enough for you, and that you wanted them personally served?
I told him I did tell him I wanted them personally served, but in the alternative, nailing and mailing.
Okay. Did you use the phrase nailing and mailing?
Yes.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. That would have been a simple option.
And it was indeed acceptable to me when the other process server served in that manner.
Let me see your documentation of the attempts you've just testified to. Because according to you, you've never heard about these attempts? Or you did hear about
No, never. But he described his conversation with...
Okay, no, this is a piece of paper with some writing on it.
Yeah, that's just my notes.
Okay, that's just your notes.
Yeah.
Okay, but that would never cut it in court, right? Like you would have to have an affidavit from whoever actually attempted to do the process, right?
Yeah, yes.
And I know,
right.
I'm looking at you, but I should be looking at him.
Right.
Right?
Well,
Like you would have to have.
due to the fact that the service was never effectuated, I just brought the notes to show that the attempts were attempted.
That's great and everything, but here's my worry then, that you didn't really effectuate any of these attempts like you're saying. You say he never told you, I went on the 9th, I went on the 11th. You say he was sort of blowing you off, and that the only attempt you ever heard about was a phone call to...
Right.
Okay,
right.
So when you come in with just a piece of paper with writing on it, I, as a naturally suspicious sort of gal, might think that you wrote those notes right outside before coming in, because you never really made these, I have a documented attempt on the 9th, a documented attempt on the 11th, a documented attempt on the 22nd. Maybe you didn't make those, because usually when somebody documents those attempts, there's some effort to put it in some form that doesn't look like this. Because see, it's all about whether you earned your keep and did not fall asleep on the job right now.
Sure, okay.
Right? And I've got to decide that, and so this is what I got. This is it?
That's it.
Okay. I think that I don't think that this could be your best work, because people wouldn't hire you and you couldn't stay in business if this was your best work. But I am going to order you to return part of it, because I think that your firm was frankly dragging their feet on this more than in a way that is acceptable. And I also don't believe that he insisted on personal and only personal, and even though other service is just as good for the courts to move along the case, that he just wouldn't take anything short of personal. I don't know why. Maybe he just rubbed you the wrong way or something because he was such a pest, calling several times a day or whatever it is. But I'm going to order you to return 100 of the 200. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Well, so the defendant comes out here as the loser in this verdict. What's your first reaction to this?
Mr. Glassman lied, basically.
He lied.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty much all I have to say about it.
What kind of a client was he to work for?
He was a pest at first, and basically, I explained to him, things take time. And
Why didn't you bring your notes of?
I did.
I mean, no. It's your actual records of having done the. Oh, you don't think that was important in this case?
I had it written down separately, so.
All right, right down the hallway there. All right, so step out here and tell me what you're feeling on the outcome of this case, then, sir. How you doing?
I'm satisfied. The judge split the difference, so I can't complain too hard.
So you're satisfied the guy did at least some work?
Yeah, I don't believe he threw my papers in the garbage, but he didn't accomplish anything for me. That's why I had to pay someone else to do the job.
He's calling you a liar out here.
Yeah, well, I don't need to respond to that. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Harvey.
The answer to this is simple. You have to perform a service under a contract always within a reasonable time.